Hi, everyone. We hope you're having a great Internet Commerce Summit, and we're excited that you're here. Today, we'll be talking about winning shoppers' loyalty through instant e-commerce. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Ajay Kapur, CTO of Limelight, who recently joined through an acquisition of Layer Zero, where he was co-founder and CEO. With that, I'll hand it over to you, Ajay.
Thanks, Lauren. It's great to be here. I am very excited to talk today about how there's a new style of e-commerce called instant e-commerce, where websites load instantly and teams move faster. And I'll talk about some of the things happening in e-commerce technology to help enable that. As Lauren said, I recently joined the CTO of Limelight. Limelight Networks is one of the world's leading content delivery networks that specializes in video. And through the acquisition of Layer Zero, the company I co-founded was CTO, helps to bring other capabilities around web security, instant websites, and website hosting and development. So we'll talk about that in a moment. I'm really excited to be here. So let's just jump into it. We'll talk about website speed, a topic called Headless E-Commerce. May not be something you've heard of, but we'll talk about that. And then some speed metrics called the Core Web Vitals that Google uses to rank websites. All of these things are important technologies, important approaches to driving loyalty on your e-commerce websites. So a little bit about Layer Zero. So the Layer Zero platform has two primary benefits. The creation of instant websites. And when we say instant, we'll show you something that is brand new here. People have seen fast websites. There's technologies that help improve websites by a little bit, 20, 30, maybe 40%, but nothing out there allows a website to be completely instantaneous when it loads. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about another benefit of the Layer Zero platform, which is it creates a very simple workflow for developers that allows them to ship code nearly twice as fast. But the main topics are to talk about these trends. So one is the importance of e-commerce website speed. So as many have probably heard, faster loads equate to higher conversion rates. The faster the website, the higher the conversion rate. Now, that is intuitively obvious. There's a study that says waiting for a web page to load creates as much stress in a shopper as does watching a horror movie. So it's important, even if your website is fast, that you make it faster to eliminate that feeling of stress. That's the last feeling of stress that you want to create when someone visits your online store. And so there's a direct correlation between having faster speeds and higher conversion rates. There's a study by Google and Deloitte Digital that says the minimum improvements to page views per session, conversion rate, and average order value are the values seen below. We've seen much higher and bigger results where people are seeing up to 40 to 50% increase to revenue by virtue of making a faster site. And what I'll do now is I'm going to show you an experience that is a instantaneous experience, the kind I was alluding to earlier. And what you're going to see is just what is the state of the art in terms of website speed. So I'm in right now, I have my phone, an iPhone connected to the screen. I'm going to open up Kate Spade. And first off, you see that first load. That first load was about 1 second. And as I go into this and I click on handbags, that was definitely sub-second. And as I tap on each handbag here, so this is a typical shopping flow where someone comes into a website and they tap around on various different products. You can see this is a website that has a lot of rich features on their e-commerce site. Some of these products, no matter what I do, as I click around, things load in an instantaneous fashion. So this is getting as close to that experience of being in a store, where when she's shopping, she has that serendipitous type of a interaction where something catches her eye. And so what we found is that folks with instantaneous websites are sometimes able to see twice as many products as they see before because the website just gets out of the way, kind of like being in a real store where you're just able to grab items and look at them. So you can't get exactly that when you're online, but you can get very close to it. And when you're able to create that rich experience, here you can see some video, some more 3D style video of the experience. And everything is able to load instantaneously, and the website's able to get out of the way customers see more products, and as you know, it's that last product that compels someone to buy. And if they see a product they like, they buy. If they don't, they're going to go over to a competitor's website that has a smoother experience. So performance has a direct impact on the business. And you can see here that today it is possible to get an instantaneous experience, and I'll talk about how that's possible. So another reason this is super important is not just for conversion rates and the metrics once someone is on the site. It's also because Google has been pushing to make speed a fundamental and important part of search rank. And the reason that is because they want to make sure websites continue to convert at high rates relative to apps. They dominate on the web, and Facebook has a really strong role, may even dominate on apps. So they want to make sure websites and e-commerce sites convert at the highest rate. So what they do is they're using their heft in the market to say as of August of this year, they started ranking websites based on website speed according to 3 metrics that are collectively called the Core Web Vitals, which we'll talk about at the end. As a result of this, you can not only drive conversion rate, but you can also drive traffic to your website by having a higher ranking website, a faster website. And so that's really important, especially given that websites today are not that fast, especially on mobile and especially on mobile networks. So 25% of folks abandon after a website takes more than 4 seconds to load. 46% view this as something that's a negative impression of the brand, and they don't come back to your website. And 64% of those who are dissatisfied choose to shop somewhere else. So this is critically important that you improve website speed. And so how do we defy the odds in e-commerce? Well, one ingredient to improving website speed is a trend called Headless E-Commerce or Headless Commerce. And what is that? That's this idea that you decouple the front end of the website from the back end of the website. And a lot of companies are doing this. I know some of the top e-commerce websites in India have moved forward with this type of path. And by separating the front end from the back end, you're able to make that front end load faster and have teams that are focused specifically on allowing that experience to be as fast as possible. This is in contrast to what existed before, where the front end and the back end of the website was one thing. They call that the monolithic platforms. So if by default you take Salesforce Commerce Cloud and you use its out-of-the-box front end and back end, or you do the same with Shopify or others, it tends to be what people call a monolithic platform. So there's 2 kind of big issues there. First is the website speed. It's something that's hard to optimize. You can't create that nice app-like website. What I was showing you there with Kate Spade, leading retailer based in the United States, they went headless. They separated the front end from the back end. They created a front end in a open source web framework called React. And as a result of focusing on speed, we're able to create an instantaneous website, which for them resulted in a 12% increase to revenue for them. But that was only half the story. The other half of the story, by separating the front end and the back end, is that teams are able to innovate faster. They're able, we see customers who go headless and who use a platform like Layer 0, they're able to push code to production twice as fast as they could before. And when they're able to do that, they're able to then focus their engineering team and their technology team's effort not on the basic plumbing to get a website running or to even make it fast. They can actually focus on those unique features to their customers that give them a better experience, that gain loyalty. And so headless e-commerce also helps with that sort of thing. So the modular solution, or the headless approach, allows you to invest in your front end in a way where it's your permanent front end, regardless of the back end. And that allows you to really get a faster site and have a team that iterates more quickly on the website. Folks like Forrester really believe that this headless approach is the future. We definitely see it. It's a big one-way trend, and everyone's heading in that direction. And there's really, again, those 2 big business reasons to go forward with that type of approach. You can see here that the trend of people searching for microservices, headless commerce, the term around APIs in commerce, are all trends that people, this is a Google Trends chart, that all people are seeing as kind of is becoming increasingly popular. So in general, the benefits are website speed, making developers and allowing them to push code faster so you get more features with every month or every sprint that you have for your engineering teams. And those types of things fundamentally drive your revenue. Increase conversion rates, lower customer acquisition costs through SEO gains. So it's all, headless commerce is really just a powerful technology. And you can see here that now is really the time to invest, is one of the top things that folks are saying they're investing in right now. So API-based or headless commerce architectures for the reasons I described before. And if you do it with the right platform and the right approach, you can also get an instantaneous website. So headless does help you get a faster website, but not all headless websites are instantaneous. If you use a platform like Layer 0, you're able to get a headless website and have it be instantaneous. There's even ways to improve the speed of your website if you're not headless. If you want to achieve wins rapidly, say in a couple of weeks, you can use the Layer 0 platform to do that as well. So what can you do today to speed up your website? So first, there's, you can't improve what you don't measure. And Google has come up with the 3 metrics they're going to use to rank your website and are using to rank your website. And they're collectively called the Core Web Vitals. So what are the Core Web Vitals? So there are these 3 measures. They're called largest contentful paint, first input delay, and cumulative layout shift. And those 3 things essentially are some of the best measures for website speed. I think Google did a great job in picking the right metrics. And let's talk a little bit about them. So first off, in an e-commerce setting, some of these, so if you go to Google's tools, and we'll point you to some links there where you can get an assessment of what your site and how it's doing on these things. You can even look up how you compare to competitors. We have a tool that makes it easy to do that. So if you're looking at this, don't be worried if you don't pass. Only 13% of e-commerce sites pass all 3 of these things. And to get a passing score, you have to pass all 3 of these things. First, input delay, which is in the middle, is pretty easy to pass. Most companies pass that. If you don't, there's some simple tips online to pass that. Largest contentful paint is one of the hardest ones to pass, but not if you're using the Layer 0 platform. It's really easy. We can give you a free consultation and help you pass that one. And cumulative layout shift is not too hard to pass. And really, that's about your front-end team improving some aspects of your style sheets to make sure content doesn't bounce around the page. So largest contentful paint is how quickly something paints. You need to be 75% of your users need to be at 2.5 seconds or less on that metric for you to pass when measured on a mobile browser. And it has to be your real users. It's not the synthetic test. It's when your real users who are browsing Chrome visit your website. Google tracks that for certain Chrome people who have opted in, and they use that to determine whether you're passing or not. So that's largest contentful paint, FID, and CLS. And these are the metrics that Google uses to rank your website, and they really do matter. So 73% of referral traffic comes from search. So obviously ranking as high as you possibly can is important, and having a fast site allows you to do that. We have so many case studies of customers who have upgraded their speed through our platform, who then started ranking much higher. Folks, if you search, for example, ties, and you're in the US, you're going to see a customer of ours, Tie Bar, show up either number 1 or 2, ranking ahead of much bigger websites, Amazon, Macy's, Nordstrom, and others, for their most important search term. And that was all done through ensuring that they had the fastest possible site. Being the top, 3 results is really important. 55% of people click on those top 3. And, when you pass these 3 metrics, you're 24% less likely to abandon. So it's not only about getting the traffic. It's also about making sure people don't abandon and bounce when they hit your website. So there are proven results to investing in speed. And you can get some of these wins really easily if you work with us or similar platforms. So Universal Standard is an e-commerce site in the US. a rapidly growing website. They pass all 3 core web vitals. They did so as a result of using the Layer 0 platform. They saw a 40% decrease in bounce rates, double the number of pages viewed, and triple the amount of time spent on the site. So imagine that difference to your experience when you're able to, through some simple upgrades to site speed, be able to see those types of wins for your customers. Really, this is about customer loyalty, and site speed can have a dramatic impact on that. Another customer, Guide to Iceland. They are the biggest e-commerce site in Iceland. It's a travel site. So they had dramatic improvements to their Lighthouse score. The largest contentful paint was brought down by from 5.5 seconds to 1.5. The first input delay got much faster, and the cumulative layout shift was much faster. So those were the 3 core web vitals. They pass all of them, and as a result of doing that, they also saw significant wins to revenue and conversion rate. But that's just the beginning. I mean, there's countless other websites, all in e-commerce, who've seen amazing wins. Shoe Carnival saw a 40% win in revenue. Akira, a fashion website, saw a huge increase to conversion rate, nearly 40%. Kate Spade, what I just showed you, saw 93% faster page loads and some revenue wins associated with that. And Revolve, another fashion website, 11% revenue per user. So you really should invest in speed. That's half of what the product does. You get instant websites. There is no content delivery network, no CDN, such as Akamai or any other competitors who are able to offer instant websites. And that's really only half the story, because when you're able to use a platform like ours, and especially if you use it to go headless, you're able to get this simple workflow that allows you to ship to production twice as fast, up to twice as fast as you did historically. And a result of doing that, you can do so many other things for your users beyond speed that earn their loyalty. So to help everyone out here, we're offering a free website audit. So if you go to this URL there, so limelight.com/LP/ICS, you can request a site audit, and you can get a performance audit. You'll be able to talk to our team and get a free consultation where we dig deeper on what you can do to improve your site. Some of that advice will involve using our product, and some of it will be just tips that you can go take home. And so we're excited for you to go do that. We have a free roam tool where you can install this on your website and get real measurement of how you're performing on these core web vitals in a way that Google's tools aren't really able to track. It gives you real-time information where Google's Search Console makes you wait 28 days, which makes it very hard to optimize your website. So that's a free tool. And we have some other tools that you pay for, but you can talk to our teams about that. I'm really excited today to have been able to talk to you about how you gain loyalty through these new technologies that enable you to have a really fast website and an instantaneous website, and also allow you to go headless more easily and quickly to really deliver a better customer experience, drive your revenue, and gain more loyal customers. So thank you so much for taking time to listen to this today, and have a great conference.